Oh, honey, Paris was supposed to be Meghan Markle's grand fashion comeback. Picture this, the Duchess herself, dazzling in head-to-toe white, sitting front row at Balenciaga, cameras flashing, every lens locked on her. It was meant to be her moment, her big re-entry into the world of high fashion. The crowd shimmered, the lights glowed, and Meghan looked every bit like she owned the runway. Until one tiny, completely unexpected moment changed everything. A model stumbled, just a second of imbalance, a slip, a gasp from the crowd. But then, right there in front of the world's cameras, Meghan laughed. Yes, laughed. Not a polite chuckle, not a worried "oh dear," but a visible caught-on-camera giggle. Her hand flew up to her face, her shoulders shook slightly, and she leaned over to whisper something to her friend Marcus Anderson, who, by the way, sat beside her looking stone cold. The internet? It went wild. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. TikTok, X, Instagram Reels, you name it. That little giggle became a digital firestorm. People slowed it down, zoomed in, analyzed her lips frame by frame. One tweet screamed, "Leave it to Meghan Markle to laugh when someone trips." Another chimed in sarcastically, "So compassionate." Truly the mark of a kind soul, ouch. But it didn't stop there. The floodgates opened. Everyone, and I mean everyone, started digging up old evidence. Suddenly, Meghan's entire history of laughter was under investigation. People were pulling receipts like seasoned detectives. Remember that hockey game in 2018? One user wrote, resurfacing a clip of Meghan appearing to giggle while an autistic singer performed the Canadian national anthem. Or how about the time she smirked when an elderly man fell off his horse at Trooping the Color? Someone else added. And then came the big one. Didn't she also laugh when little Princess Charlotte tripped while waving? The narrative was forming, and it was brutal. This wasn't being painted as an innocent giggle anymore. It was becoming a pattern of, as some said, finding joy in other people's misfortunes. Comment sections became war zones. "It's always the same with her," one critic wrote. "Everything she does is calculated, except her laughter. That's the only real part of her," another piled on. "This woman has no empathy. Every time someone falls, she smirks, oof." The internet had decided Meghan's laugh wasn't cute, it was cruel. And here's where things get wild. Meghan's team, of course, didn't officially respond, but silence only made things worse. The longer she stayed quiet, the more the video spread. Every influencer, royal watcher, and body language expert had something to say. They dissected her expression, her timing, even her posture. The verdict? Guilty of bad taste. But darling, that was just day one of Paris Fashion Week, because if you thought one awkward giggle could cause chaos, oh, you have no idea what came next. So, fast forward to the next evening. Meghan's car glides through the glimmering streets of Paris. The Seine sparkles, the lights twinkle. It's classic, dreamy, cinematic. She posts an Instagram story of it, clearly feeling herself. Her caption? A magical night. In any other universe, harmless, right? Except the video was filmed right near the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. Yes, the exact location where Princess Diana tragically died in 1997. Cue the collective gasp. The camera in her story even pans down to show Meghan's feet casually propped up on the seat ahead of her. Relaxed, glowing, smiling, as if it's just another night out. Except for millions of viewers, it wasn't. People lost their minds. A magical night? Near that tunnel? One post read, "How tone-deaf can you be?" Another said bluntly, "Insensitive doesn't even begin to cover it." Even royal commentators jumped in. Richard Fitzwilliams called it bewildering and insensitive beyond belief. He told the Daily Mail he couldn't imagine any advisor approving such a move, if Meghan even asked one. "No one thinking straight would do that," he said flatly. And the worst part? Everyone remembered Harry's trauma. He's spoken publicly about the nightmares, the therapy, the lifelong pain of losing his mother that way. Meghan knows this. She's lived with it. She's heard every detail. And yet, she posted that video from that spot with that caption. Her team scrambled to explain, saying it wasn't meant as any reference to Diana, that it was just Paris at night. But please, the bridge leading directly to the tunnel was literally the next one over. The proximity wasn't coincidental. It didn't look unintentional. It looked cold. The reaction online was scorching. "This isn't just tone-deaf, it's cruel," wrote one commenter. "Who films near the site of their husband's mother's death and calls it magical?" Even some of Meghan's usual defenders couldn't spin it this time. And believe it or not, this wasn't even the biggest headline yet. Because lurking underneath all of this, beneath the giggle, beneath the Instagram outrage, was a much juicier secret waiting to explode. Meghan didn't just attend the Balenciaga show. Rumor had it, she was paid to be there. Here's where the gossip goes from spicy to scandalous. Word on the street, and in some very reputable reports, was that Meghan's front row seat wasn't just a friendly favor, it was a business deal. Yep, you heard right. A 7-figure deal. According to insiders, Balenciaga wanted a headline-grabbing guest, someone who would get the world talking, and talk they did. Reportedly, Meghan's team negotiated like Hollywood pros, a private jet from California to Paris, a 5-star suite, glam squad on standby, the works. She was the highest paid guest there, one source claimed. This wasn't an invite, it was a transaction. And let's not forget the elephant in the room, Balenciaga's 2022 scandal, the one with the children and the teddy bears in bondage outfits that nearly destroyed the brand's reputation. After that, most celebs ran far away from Balenciaga. Even Kim Kardashian distanced herself, calling the whole thing disturbing. But Meghan, the self-proclaimed advocate for children and empowerment, she showed up, allegedly for a massive paycheck. The hypocrisy accusations were instant. "The Duchess of Hypocrisy strikes again," one comment read. How can she talk about child protection and then take money from them? Her team tried to spin it as supporting a friend, saying she admired designer Pier Paolo Piccioli's craftsmanship. But come on, even her defenders were squirming. It didn't look like support, it looked like business. So after that whole Gigglegate debacle and the Diana Tunnel uproar, you'd think Meghan might just keep her head down for the rest of Paris Fashion Week, right? Oh no, not Meghan. Because apparently when the universe gives her a chance to not trend, she says, "Challenge accepted." Picture it. The Balenciaga show just wrapped. The music fades, the applause dies down, cameras are everywhere. Meghan stands, smiles, and heads toward designer Pier Paolo Piccioli, the man of the hour, her supposed dear friend. What happens next? Pure, unfiltered awkwardness. They go in for the classic European double air kiss, and that chic little moi cheek greeting that's supposed to look effortless, except it wasn't, not even close. They both leaned the wrong way at the wrong time. It was like watching a slow-motion near disaster. Foreheads almost bumping, noses grazing, their faces dangerously close. For a split second, it looked like they might accidentally kiss on the mouth. The crowd gasped, the flashes exploded, and the internet? Oh, darling, the internet died. Within hours, the video was plastered all over TikTok and X. "They almost kissed," one user shrieked. "You can see the panic in her eyes," another joked. It was meme material from the moment it happened. And of course, the body language experts swooped in like hawks. Judy James, who's basically the queen of overanalyzing celebrity interactions, told the Mirror that it was actually Piccioli's fault. "He created the awkward moment for poor Meghan," she said, explaining that he got too close and didn't read her cues. Apparently, his sunglasses didn't help either. They made the whole thing even weirder. Still, that didn't save Meghan from the roasting. One ex-user wrote, "She looks terrified, like, girl, breathe." Another said, "After all those royal events, how does she still not know how to greet people properly?" They weren't wrong about one thing, that for someone who spent years shaking hands with heads of state, that little air kiss moment looked painfully amateur. Meghan's smile wobbled, her laugh came a second too late, and the whole thing screamed nervous energy. Then came the pose. Oh Lord, the pose. Meghan and Piccioli stood together for photos, smiling tightly. She gave him a hug that looked about as natural as a wax figure. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either. The awkwardness hung in the air like static, but just when the dust started to settle, the next viral moment dropped. And this one, it wasn't about laughter or kisses, it was about the walk. So Vogue, yes, that Vogue, post this gorgeous video of Meghan arriving at the Balenciaga show. The setting? Elegant. The music? Dramatic. And Meghan? She's gliding down that pathway in her crisp all-white ensemble like she's walking through a dream sequence. But there's just one problem. She's walking in slow motion. Not literally, but it felt that way. Every step exaggerated, every stride deliberate, her cape flowing behind her like a bridal veil caught in the wind. The look on her face? Serious, regal, determined. You could practically hear the "I'm Back" soundtrack in her head, but oh, the comments. The comments were brutal. "Oh my God, why is she walking like that?" one user wrote. Another joked, "It's giving main character energy, but in the wrong movie." Someone else quipped, "The ego has landed." And my personal favorite? That's the walk of someone who practices in the mirror. The roast was endless. People said she looked like she thought she was on the runway, not just attending it. Even professional models chimed in like, "Girl, calm down. It's Fashion Week, not your coronation." And here's the irony of it all. She was literally being mocked for walking dramatically after being dragged for laughing at a model who fell. The universe really has a sense of humor. Still, Meghan's defenders came to play too. One fan argued, "She's walking like that to get a killer photo. Y'all would do the same." And sure, fair point. But the problem? Nothing about it felt natural. Every move, every glance, every step, it was so calculated. People didn't see confidence. They saw someone performing for the cameras. And that's the thing about Meghan. No matter what she does, people always debate if it's real or rehearsed. Even her simplest gestures become battlegrounds of perception. By now, her Paris trip had turned into a PR inferno. The giggle, the tunnel video, the awkward air kiss, the slow-mo strut, each moment piling onto the last. But believe it or not, there was still more chaos waiting in the wings. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will Meghan retreat to Montecito, regroup, and return polished and perfect? Or will she keep charging forward, controversy be damned, because she knows attention, good or bad, is still attention? Because say what you will about her, love her, hate her, Meghan Markle knows how to dominate a headline. And Paris? Oh, Paris proved it. The trip that was supposed to make her shine instead reminded the world of her greatest challenge. She can't escape the spotlight, even when it's burning her. As one viral post summed it up perfectly, every time Meghan tries to control the narrative, it explodes in her face. But that's the thing about her. You can't look away. So here we are. One weekend, one duchess, one viral laugh, and a storm that just won't stop. And something tells me, this isn't the last time Paris, the palace, and Meghan Markle's name end up in the same sentence.